5 days without electricity. The story of residents of Somanya who have been plunged into darkness following months of chain events with a supply of power grid to the area.
But then they move into their homes carrying guns, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I am imploring you to ask whoever brought the military men to withdraw them.
Tonight we are live in Somanya. We'll bring you details as the power cut has affected the local economy there. Also, National Association of Law Students accuses the General Legal Council of predetermining the number of students it will admit into the Ghana Law School as it forces students to once again sign an undertaking not to challenge the outcome of the exams.
To force students to undertake by signing that I would accept my result without questioning, it's unconstitutional. Have the CJ sitting as part of the GLC and looking at this injustice being perpetrated against students.
We have details plus calls for the naming and shaming of members of the GLC.
5 Supreme Court justices sitting on a General Legal Council that asks students to make an undertaking which a court of law, a duly constituted court of law, has declared unlawful.
Also in this package, Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia hints the Ghana card could replace the voter's ID and become the primary document for voters in the 2024 general elections.
Very soon, you will see that our problems with voter registration will disappear. It's only a matter of time, if not at the next election, then the next election after, because we spend so much in voter registration.
Coming up in business with Beverly.
OPEC has projected that fuel prices may witness a reduction if the cedi stabilizes. We'll hear from its Executive Secretary, Duncan Amoah.
It is our hope that the downward trajectory would continue. Unfortunately, the only thing that stands in the way of these reductions is the currency or the cedi.
We have details at 8 p.m. and later we'll bring you sports. This is Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Minu. We are live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 144. This is the home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details. Hello again, my name is Ernest Minu. Let's settle for the details now. Residents of Yellow and Lower Manyakrobo municipalities in the eastern region have been plunged into darkness since Wednesday, July 27, 2022, following a decision by the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to switch off feeders supplying power to communities in the 2 municipalities over illegal connections. According to ECG, some recalcitrant residents have tampered with their transformers and reconnected power to their homes after they were disconnected for refusal to accept prepaid meter installations. We are live in the area shortly, but first, MP for Lower Manyakrobo, Ebenezer Oklete-Telabi, raised issues about the installation of the meters and the deployment of military officers to accompany ECG officials to do the installation. Here's a report from Parliament, aired first on the 24th of June this year.
The Lower Manyakrobo area has been a hotspot following alleged attacks on ECG officials, following claims by locals that they were being overbilled on their post-paid meters. The resolution to those issues has been to install new prepaid meters. According to the MP, Ebenezer Telabi, there's no need for ECG officials installing prepaid meters to be accompanied by armed military men. He spoke on the floor of Parliament.
In the process, it was agreed that to avert the overbilling and all that happened, the ECG was going to install prepaid meters instead of the postpaid. Mr. Speaker, the agreement was that these prepaid meters, before they extend them to those communities, there must be some community engagement. The military has been deployed. And Mr. Speaker, I believe that we have had enough tension in this country. We have had enough. And there's a need for us to really be very careful when we are deploying these men. Because, Mr. Speaker, I don't know the kind of briefing that they were giving. But then they move into their homes carrying guns. Mr. Speaker, And therefore, I am imploring you to ask whoever brought the military men there to withdraw them.
This call was endorsed by the majority leader, Osei Chairman Sabonsu.
Mr. Speaker, I take a cue from what the Deputy Minority Leader has said. Between now and Tuesday, if we have to invite the ministers, you never know what may happen. So perhaps we'll give the directive to involving the Minister of Energy, who fortunately has arrived back in the country, Defense and Communication, to put their heads together to say, going forward, what statement to issue to calm down tension in the place between now and Tuesday. If you can amend.
Second Deputy Speaker Andrew Amakwesiama directed Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo to order a withdrawal of the troops. He also directed the Energy Minister to appear before the House and brief MPs on why the ECG officials had to be accompanied whilst installing new meters.
So that's a report from Parliament. Let me take you live to Somanya and speak to my colleague Manuel Cranton, who is live in the town. Manuel, human and other economic activities in Lower Manyakrobo municipality and in the eastern region have been grounded to a halt now. Tell us about the survival of the people. I cannot imagine myself living 5 straight days without electricity. How are the people coping?
So, Ernest, it's been all sorts of, just endure around us, really. We've seen some of the residents here move about, attempting to access the main community where they have, conference facilities, where they have hotels, churches, and so on and so forth. These facilities actually have standby generators. And so what we're seeing is some of them now trekking just along the road to access the main community. But as I've been speaking to a few of them just before you came to us here, Ernest, many of them have had, their consumables and perishables just go bad. Their gadgets are spoiling also. And really, it's a hard-hitting situation for their businesses. And as you'd imagine, a lot of the economic activities that are carried out within the community here in Somanya, and it's of course adjoining communities, are heavily dependent on electricity power. For 5 days now, many of the people here have not been able to go to work. When they go to work, they wait the entire day for small-scale businesses like barbering shops, like hairdressers, salons, and so on and so forth. All of these ones have not been able to properly work because beside the fact that the lights have been out for about 5 days, they also are unable to afford standby generators. We're told that a few of the people, and indeed hotels and so on that are around here that are able to afford these standby generators, the cost incurred in just the past 5 days is almost unbearable. We just try and speak to a few of the people who, just as we began talking here, I began, just gathering around here, giving you an indication of how interested they are in the situation. Babas, good evening. Thank you for speaking to us here on the Joy News channel. Tell us your name and what you do here.
Good evening. My name is Ocho John Sebastian. I'm a health worker. I work at Takuse, but I reside in this community. And the effects of the light out is, in fact, a very big issue we need to talk about. I would say it's a public health issue because looking at the health service, the blood we have in the bank, the vaccines we have, and how we're going to administer and all that is going to cause a lot of how do I put it, generators, the fueling and all that, management of the various hospitals.
I'm carrying a lot of costs to keep these generators running, but you live here also. Yes. How has this been affecting you?
Yeah, for some time now we hardly iron our dresses. You go to where they have generators, sometimes you pay something little before you can iron. This is affecting all of us. some of the things you even eat, our fridges are off. The foodstuffs we have in the fridges are all rotten. And in fact, the impact is not just the social aspect, but also a public health. Like I said, some of the things they have, you meet people selling, how do you call it, Indomie and all that. Those cabbages, how are they stored before they even bring them out to even prepare the Indomines that we are taking? So to me, I am taking it from the public health perspective. So it is affecting us. Now, as we are saying, what is happening in the environments where there are no lights is also something we need to look out for. And so the absence of the electricity in the community is indeed not affecting individuals, but also affecting the health, affecting our health issues and the social aspect.
Thank you. So he's just talking to us about the public health implication of having these, gadgets and all not functioning. But you're also here. What's your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Abuaji Edmond.
Abuaji Edmond, you've also been going through the same situation. How has it been affecting you?
Yes, it's very terrible. I live just around the Mount Mary Training College. And the lights off is not just affecting us individually, but then the public institutions as well. If you see the number of students who have to trek from the school, go out, even the security, their safety, it's serious. What we are going through is not a child's play. Whoever is in charge must make sure that power is restored to the good people of this place, so that whatever the issues are, we don't care about whether people say they will pay light bill or not. Some of us are ready to pay. We are paying. Some of us have even accepted or embraced the prepaid meters. So whatever the issues are, we are not concerned. We are focused on how we can build our businesses and how we can be free from this darkness. If I tell you the impact on businesses, my brother, you will marvel. You will marvel. It is not good. Some of the ECG cables are even being stolen because of because the people know that the lights are off now.
And we can just see right here,
yes,
some of the cables hanging,
yes,
right beside the pole, giving you an indication of what, exemplifying what he's been telling us. But as we talk, we've seen a store here which seems to have electricity connection. But just as I get closer, I'm hearing the sound of a generator just blaring right here on the street. And so, in fact, we've been driving for close to 20 minutes on this particular avenue here in Somanya, and we're told that nobody, or if you like, no household actually has connection to electricity. So just across this part, we're seeing the stores. Just one store out of so many that are lined up on this particular stretch of the road has electricity tonight. And we're seeing that people are just, coming around and attempting to access the electricity. Well, they're standing there and watching us even as we do this. And as we're getting closer, Ernest, it is becoming more and more clear that they are indeed using a standby generator. My boss, good evening. I'm sorry to be intruding on you like this. My name is Manuel Cranton with Joy News. You're live on the Joy News channel. That's a standby generator, confirm?
Yeah, it's true. We have to use generator to charge our phones.
So this is a place you charge mobile phones?
Normally, it's not a place that we charge mobile phone, but then we are taking advantage of the light out over here to do business for ourselves.
I see. So almost everybody in the town comes here to charge their phone?
Not everybody. Those in this vicinity actually visit here. Other places too, there are generators who are charging phones for other people.
Okay, so you take a token?
Yeah, we take 5 cedis for Android phone, and then for YAM we take 3 cedis.
I see. But how long has this been going on?
Let me say, since Wednesday. Yeah, it started last Wednesday. And then up to now, we haven't seen any sign of lights being operated as usual.
We're seeing a lot of the residents who are speaking to us and say the lights must be restored, the electricity must be restored to the community.
Yeah, definitely it has to, because the approaching or the imminent BECE, it's going to affect a lot of students over here. Considering the fact that we have a lot of schools in this town, the light must be in so that they can also have the advantage to at least learn for their exams.
And he's just been talking to us. Then finally, before we hand over back to you, we're seeing, older people, you're seeing grandmothers and so on, you're sitting around here, indeed, just whiling away the time. Madam, good evening. What's your name, saying? What's your saying?
Pearl.
Pearl, how are you, Juma?
Pachane.
What's that? What your light? What light on your feet?
Any light to a generator?
A generator, no. But a hand on a fee. It's what you are.
Diane.
Omuji Sikan, some of light.
Omuji Miska.
What you are saying now, Mama, like
50 cities.
50 cities. 5 days, no.
Ane.
I then I'm light in a call.
Minimo. Almost all the prepaid no baba hanum. And I see there be yempe. And I'm more doom lights no.
I didn't say I'm prepaid.
Prepaid in Yentimentria. Yentimentria.
Anything I'm moon to Mintia. I see. So she's been telling me that, well, even though we're seeing something a semblance of electricity connection right here in her shop, she's just tapping from that other shop, which we just showed you as a spot where people here in the community now come to charge their mobile phones. She says that they are kicking against this prepaid, prepaid meters because they cannot pay. And so that's really the situation here in Somanya as they call on authorities to now restore their electricity for them. Ernest, from here in Somanya, we're handing over back to you in the studio.
Manu, thank you very much for bringing us that live feed from Somanya, where the residents are reeling from the impact of that disconnection by the Electricity Company of Ghana. We'll be reaching out to them and bring you their side of the story and what steps are being taken to restore electricity to the area. This is John News Prime with me, Ernest Minu. Let's do some other stories now. The Vice President, Mahmoud Bawumia, has hinted that the Ghana card could replace the voter's ID and become the primary document for voters in the 2024 general elections or the next one. If successful or successfully implemented, holders who turn 18 will automatically be rolled onto the voters register, a move that will not only eliminate the stress of queuing to register for IDs, but also save costs. The opposition NDC has raised concerns with a move describing it as part of a grand scheme by the Akufo-Addo administration to disenfranchise eligible voters. But the Vice President has been explaining why the replacement needs to happen.
Very soon, you will see that our problems with voter registration will disappear. It's only a matter of time. If not at the next election, then the next election after, because we spend so much in voter registration. But once unique identity is determined, and you cannot have underage people coming to register to vote and all of that, I think the Ghana card will be a good identification document, as we are already seeing, so that we sanitize the voting registration system. In many countries, once you are 18, you're essentially on the voters register, and that is it. There's no complication to this and going to fight and break legs and so on as we register to vote. I mean, the system is the system. If you are 18, you are on the register. Simple. And I think this is where we are headed.
Dr. Bawumia has also been defending his recent comments about his preference for a Ghana card over 1,000 interchanges. He says the Ghana card, which will deliver unique identity numbers for every Ghanaian, will eliminate ghost names from public payrolls and potentially save the country billions of Ghana cedis and improve tax collection. We'll bring you that shortly in our subsequent bulletins. But let's go on to the phone lines now and speak to the NDC's Deputy General Secretary, Peter Boama Otokuno, and the Communications Director at the Presidency. Well, we'll hear from them shortly. But Isaac Kofi is a data analyst with the research team, and he joins me in the studio. Just before we hear from Kofi, who will give us the figures on what the potential of this is, let's go listen to the Vice President.
A few weeks ago, not too long, I was touting how important the Ghana card was, the identification system that we've put in place in Ghana. And I even said that this, for me, at this stage of our development, I'll prefer this to 1,000 interchange. You can imagine the furore this caused. Is this man, Wabodamana, what is he talking about? What is the Ghana card? What is system? How could it be so much more valuable? I'll just give you a few reasons. And it wasn't said, cavalierly. There was thinking to that statement, and I wanted people to think about it. For the first time in our history as a country, we have a unique identity system, which is biometric. So we can uniquely identify every individual, whether they are alive or dead, right? We can uniquely identify every individual. So immediately, if you can uniquely identify each individual, the case of ghost names on our public sector payroll will become a thing of the past. Immediately, once we do it, and I'm working with Controller here, we're doing a lot of good work on the Controller payroll database and cleaning it up. If you look at what has happened recently, National Service Scheme, we found 14,000 ghost workers, saved annually 114 million Ghana cedis to the public exchequer. From 14,000, just from one institution, National Service, 14,000 ghost workers, because we look for unique identity. Just a couple of days ago, SNIT reported finding 27,000 ghost pensioners. 27,000 ghost pensioners. And they were being paid 327 million Ghana cedis a year. Two institutions, you add a yearly savings that these discoveries have made, just in two institutions, 441 million Ghana cedis. Over 10 years, you are talking of over 4 billion Ghana cedis. This is just two institutions, and you can be sure that when we go through every institution, you will see that we will be able to eliminate all ghost workers thanks to the Ghana card. As a result of the Ghana card, we've made it the tax identification number for everybody. When we came into office in 2017, only 4% of adults in Ghana had a tax identification number, 4%. And you can see most of those are in the formal sector. Not many who will be registered for taxes. We said, let's make the Ghana card number the tax identification number. Immediately we did that. The number of people that have tax identification numbers have suddenly gone up from 4% to 85%. And that is it. So now the taxman knows exactly who has filed, who has not filed at any particular time. And not only do we know them, we also have their digital address, so we know where they live.
So that's the Vice President there explaining his comments. Let's return to the issue of the Ghana card replacing the voter's ID. How many young people will be eligible for this if this is approved by Parliament? And how many do actually have the Ghana card? Kofi J joins me in the studio. Kofi, walk us through the figures. If Parliament is to approve this today, how many young people will be up for this? And you know the figures as far as the registration of the Ghana card is concerned. Walk us through it.
Well, and it's on the touch screen now is Ghana's total population, which is 30.8 million Ghanaians. 30.8 million is our current population. But obviously, you can't have the entire 30.8 million going to the polls 2024 to vote. And so the most important thing now is to look for those who are 18 years and above. So we did the math. We went to the 2021 population and housing census, and we started our analysis from those who are 15 years and above. Why 15 years and above? Because we believe by 2024, those who are 15 years currently, in 2021, will be 18 years by 2024. So we have 19.9 million of such people, or people who are 15 years and above, out of the 30.8 million population that I illustrated, previously. Now, this will be about 64.6% of the current population of 30.8 million. And so we have 19.9 million people who are 15 years and above currently. But we ask the question, how many of them have the Ghana card currently? So we know that Esla, yesterday when she was given the press statement at the Ministry of Information, out of this 19.8 million population that we have been 15 and above, we have only 15.7 million of them currently having their Ghana cards. We know, 16.6 million is the total number of people registered on the Ghana card. But if you look at those who have actually received their cards, or the number of cards issued, is about 15.7 million, as we speak now. And so if we do a quick math, you realize that the 19.9 million population who are 15 years and above, if you subtract the 15.7 million who currently have their Ghana card, you have 4.2 million who currently do not have Ghana cards, and probably in 2024 will be eligible to vote, Ernest.
Kofi, thank you very much. And we had to do this because the NDC had claimed that a lot more people will be disenfranchised if this is given parliamentary approval. So there you have it there, the figures speaking for itself. We'll bring you more later. But let's turn our focus now to legal education. The National Association of Law Students is taking aim at the General Legal Council, accusing it of having a predetermined number of students it plans on admitting to the Ghana School of Law even before the entrance exams. The GLC, the statutory body in charge of legal education and the law profession, has asked students seeking to enter the Ghana School of Law to sign an undertaking not to challenge the outcome of the exam. The General Legal Council has also announced it will determine the pass mark for this year's admission. This is a sharp departure from the previous years when the pass mark is known even before the exam takes place. This decision has been criticized as illegal, with some asking the GLC to withdraw the directive. The association says the decision is arbitrary and cannot be supported.
That publication, anyway, thank you for the opportunity. We had already indicated where we can find that, and it was read in Parliament, and that is what I'm referring to. It's always been a case of premeditation, in that the material bias of the publication, as long as the exam is concerned, as per the advert we saw, actually confirms what we are saying. Why do I say this? Who goes to write an exam and the pass mark is not stated? That's the number one thing. Number two, even though the pass mark is not stated, you are supposed to accept it as it is without questioning. This is a human institution, so the possibility of a mistake is inevitable. Now, I'm going to write an exam. You're asking me to accept the result without questioning. Now, you cannot even request for the marking scheme. You can't request for a review. You cannot request for a remarking. I, however, must state that in the Ganaku case, it was stated in there that the actions of the GLC was unconstitutional, which is to say that to force students to undertake by signing that I would accept my result without questioning, it's unconstitutional. When you extend this conversation, we have the CJ sitting as part of the GLC and looking at this injustice being perpetrated against students. Now, how long do we have to go on with this? Because year in, year out, we come back to this same issue. Now, last year, if some of us did not wake up to talk against some of these illegalities, 499 students would have been denied. How long must we go on with this? And it's not that we don't have the ability to think through this. It is just deliberate, and it's something that is very frustrating. We need to stop it at some point.
Meanwhile, CDD Fellow in Law and Justice, Professor Kweku Asare, is leading the charge for students seeking admission into the Ghana School of Law to boycott this year's entrance exam. He insists the General Legal Council is no longer fit to supervise legal education in the country.
Justices of the Supreme Court, I don't know why there are 5, there should be 4, but if you go to the website, they've named 5 justices, which would be in contravention of the Legal Education Act, provides that there should be only 4, but now they've named the Chief Justice, Anin Yeboah, they've named Justice Doche, they've named Justice Wamang, they've named Justice Kote, and I believe they've named Justice Bafo Boni. Those are 5 Supreme Court justices sitting on a General Legal Council that asks students to make an undertaking which a court of law, a duly constituted court of law, has declared unlawful and unconstitutional. These guys, 5 justices of the Supreme Court, who have sworn an oath to defend, preserve, and uphold the Constitution, decide in contempt of the High Court ruling that somehow they are above the law and they are not going to follow what the law says. And sadly, they are aided, or part of the council is my good friend who is the Dean of the University of Ghana, Dean Atuguba, who should be saying, look, I am a dean of a university, and I don't see why the Ghana School of Law should be teaching evidence and criminal procedure and civil procedure and ADR and legal accounting. We want to be offering that, and we should send all these courses back to the university. He sides with this thing, this undertaking that they are asking students to do.
You're watching Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Kojo Manu. We're taking a break. When we return, we'll hear from President Akufo-Addo, who has joined calls seeking for reparation for African countries who might have suffered from the adverse effects of slave trade. Details after the break. Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now, President Akufo-Addo has joined calls to demand reparation for African countries that suffered from slave trade. According to him, compensation to the people of Africa is long overdue. He was speaking at the Reparation and Racial Healing Summit held here in Accra. Michael Ashali has more in this report.
This event is very emotional for me. On my way here from the United States, I live in Chicago, Illinois. And on the flight here, I continue to think about all that our culture has been through. We've lost, those of us in the United States have lost a lot.
Janice Damba is an American by birth. After many years, she has taken an oath to be Ghanaian. She believes this is the single most important activity towards healing from the pain of slavery her ancestors suffered years ago.
This is my first trip to Africa, and like I said, it is so emotional. I am doing my best right now not to start crying because it hurts, and I want to be a part of change, and being here in Accra is the beginning of my journey.
When I think about coming back to Africa, I think about the legacy of the transatlantic slave trade and what was stolen from diasporic Africans like myself. What it means to be in a country where I do not feel at home. What it means to be alienated from my history, not because of something that I did, but because of something that was done to me.
Jason Craig Harris is also now officially Ghanaian. He believes this is one of many steps that people of African descent must take while they fight for reparation for the injustice done during the slave trade era.
I feel overwhelmed. I feel finally for the first time in my life that there is a place that I can call rightfully home. I feel welcomed, I feel affirmed, I feel embraced. Slavery is a legacy and a stain of trauma on the present. And I don't think there is anything that can compensate for that level of dehumanization and disregard for the bodies of people who look like me. However, I do think there is a responsibility of European powers, of former colonial nations and neo-colonial powers to acknowledge their complicity and their active involvement in the commodification of human bodies and their responsibility to, in monetary terms, enact reparations.
Like Jason, many have been calling for compensation for African countries that continue to suffer the consequences of slave trade. President Akufo-Addo added his voice to this call.
We believe the calls for reparations to Africa are just. The effects of the slave trade have been devastating to the continent and to the African diaspora. You cannot quantify the effects of such tragedies, but they need to be recognized. Africa and her peoples lost out tremendously in that period, and its ripple effects are still being felt right till this very day. Ladies and gentlemen, reparations for Africa and the African diaspora are long overdue. Predictably, the question of reparations becomes a debate only when it comes to Africa and Africans.
Now, the Inkaria police in the Ashanti region has rescued an 11-year-old girl who was allegedly abducted at Echuma Ekrofrom near Fari in the Echuma Uwabeja municipality. The traumatized victim, a pupil of Ekrofrom Primary School, was found in one of the rooms of an uncompleted Methodist church building in the area by a resident who alerted the police. Her hands and legs were tied and was blindfolded by the abductors. Love FM's Ohimin Teria joins me with more on this. Ohimin, first off, how long had she been missing?
Thank you. She went missing right after closing from school at about 2 p.m. and it was not until about 6:45 p.m. when a resident, spotted her in that position. She had already been tied from between the legs and then the hands, and then also blindfolded in that regard. So for more than 4 hours, I would say, she got missing at the time that the parents were still searching for her.
What have the police been saying about the kidnapping and what actions are they taking?
For police in the region, they suspect that the alleged abductors probably had a thought of coming back later to pick their victim to an unknown destination. So when the resident did see the girl in that manner, she raised alarm and also alerted police who went in to rescue the girl. Okay. But police have activated their investigations. As we speak, the crime scene management team has been at the scene and they have picked important information. Some fingerprint evidence have been picked, and they hope that with the picking of these fingerprint evidence, it will go a long way to influence the police investigations. But from the girl's account, they now know that 2 men were involved in this abduction, though they suspect more people could be involved. So police say they will extend their investigations to more than 2 people that were believed to have abducted the girl at Ekrofrom.
How is the 11-year-old doing, Ohimin?
On the day she was rescued, she was sent to the Tuansi Government Hospital, where she received medical attention and discharged on the same day. A few minutes ago, I had a chat with the police, and the information is that the girl is doing well. She managed to attend school today, and they hope to provide some counseling support to this poor girl who initially was traumatized because of the incident.
Ohim, is it clear to you if this is the first of such incidents in that area?
For police records, yes, it is the first time a girl of this age has been abducted. And because of this, police fear that more of them could be coming up. So what they are doing now is to educate parents and guardians and also teachers alike to take good care of the children, especially when they close from school, knowing very well that the abductors could be lurking around. So it's a way to also protect more children from falling victim to the nefarious activities of these abductors. So they are going ahead with sensitization program in schools and also in churches and also on radio stations to advise parents and guardians and teachers alike to be of help, pay attention to the children in their care.
Ohimin, thank you very much. That's Love FM's Ohimin Teria with an update on that abduction story. Let's stay in the region because the Kuntanase District Court has issued a bench warrant for the arrest of 2 men who attacked a Love FM team covering the stalled road project leading to the ongoing Sewa Regional Hospital. Michael Chem and Prince Chem pelted the team with stones, damaging the red screen and mirrors of the Love FM official vehicle. The two admitted to the Fiase and Kuntanase police that they attacked the team because they failed to seek permission before taking pictures of the stalled project. The regional minister, Simon Osemensa, blames the inability to operationalize the hospital, which is at an advanced stage of completion, on the bad nature of the access road, while the Love FM team had gone to the site to put a spotlight on the poor nature of the road and the project. And so far, this is the action of the police. To other stories now, a Cape Coast High Court presided over by Her Ladyship Patience Mills Tete has restrained the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, from forcing its registrar to go on accumulated leave. The Vice-Chancellor, in a letter, directed the registrar to go on his accumulated leave, a directive the registrar of the university vehemently contested. Even though the Human Resource Division of the university wrote back to the Vice-Chancellor indicating that the registrar had no accumulated leave, the university authorities went ahead to appoint Mrs. Wilhelmina Tete Mensah in an acting capacity and looked the registrar out of his office. They locked him, I beg your pardon, out of his office. Richard Kojo Manu was in court and filed this report.
Registrar refused to proceed on leave when he was directed by the Vice-Chancellor to go on accumulated leave. The Human Resource Division of the university also indicated in a letter to the Vice-Chancellor that the registrar indeed had no accumulated leave. That did not settle the matter, and the registrar was locked out of his office and had to operate from outside his office. Subsequently, the VC appointed Mrs. Wilhelmina Tete Mensah in an acting capacity. The Minister of Education, through the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, also directed the management of the University of Education, Winneba, to pull the brakes on the directive to the registrar of the university to take his accumulated leave. According to Osei Yaweduchum, although he appreciated the prerogative of the management of the university to decide when its staff must take their annual leave, a perception of unfair treatment had been raised, hence his intervention. Tensions began to rise at the university to the point that the Futu Municipal Assembly also wrote a letter to the registrar to go on a purported leave to reduce the tension simmering there. The registrar, Paul Oseberma, then sought an injunction at the Cape Coast High Court to restrain the Vice-Chancellor from embarking on such an enterprise. The registrar sought a declaration that the chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Education, Winneba, acting in his individual capacity, cannot order the plaintiff to proceed on leave or otherwise. A declaration that the Vice-Chancellor cannot order him, the registrar, to proceed on leave based on the directive of the chairman of the Governing Council acting in his individual capacity. A declaration by the court that the Vice-Chancellor of the university cannot appoint an acting registrar based on the chairman of the Governing Council's directive when the plaintiff is still at post and has not proceeded on a purported accumulated leave. The registrar again sought a declaration that the letter appointing Mrs. Wilhelmina Tete Mensah as an acting registrar should be declared null and void and of no legal effect, since the VC cannot make such an appointment when the substantive registrar has not proceeded on any purported leave and still at post. And finally, an injunction to restrain the university from appointing anybody to an acting registrar position. The defendants, the University of Education, Winneba, first raised jurisdictional issues, but the court shut it down and stated that it had jurisdiction to entertain the matter before it and slated the ruling for the 29th of July 2022. The court, presided over by Her Ladyship Patience Mills Tete, restrained the university from forcing the registrar to proceed on leave with immediate effect. The registrar, Paul Oseberma, is expected back in office on Monday after being locked out of his office for nearly 3 months. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kojo Manu, Cape Coast.
My name is Ernest Mino and this is Joy News Prime. Up next is Showbiz. If you missed anything on the weekend, Becky's here to bring you up to speed. here on Showbiz. Hi, Becky.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Do you know how to dance?
No, I wouldn't. Well, I try.
I don't know how to dance.
I try.
I'm amazed.
And I'm gonna learn a few moves for my special day.
Well, your special day. Who's talking about special day? Okay, well,
it was Muhammad's special day. Former President.
Great.
Muhammad's
Former President Mahama. He had a happy ever lunch party, and we had, they had friends and family. Obviously, I'm not friends. And next time you should invite me. He had friends, family, some industry players, coming to celebrate him. Beautiful ceremony.
That's nice. There was one video where former president was,
he was
going down.
That was the first one when they went for the Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So he was going down and
down low.
Did he go down?
Tried.
Oh, he did.
He tried. He's got some moves.
Yeah, and the colors, perfect colors.
Yeah, beautiful.
We should use the green colors and the white colors for our special day.
For the divorce party.
Our special day. I mean, you just mentioned our special day, and I'm so excited about it. But
what do you have, Becky?
Let's move on from the former president. Let's talk about Mommy Dollars, because I mean the lady, she's not backing out of this challenge. Remember Big Ivy?
Yeah.
She came on Joy News. We had a conversation with her, and she said that she's not backing out. And we have the Nigerians working out, like, ensuring that they win this competition. Check this out. Because it has to be better than...
Oh, definitely. But why? Are you shaking?
I'm not shaking. I'm just...
I have full confidence she's going to kill this. Like, she's going to murder everything.
Okay. But Ernest, is your daddy the richest? No, of course. No. Of course. But, some... here's a video. One of the cutest videos you can ever find on. That's his son, Zayn.
That's nice.
Telling the whole world how his daddy is the richest and the smartest. That's a smart kid right there.
Yeah, I mean, for every kid, your dad is the superman, is the richest man, and it's just everything that you could aspire.
Are we having a baby soon?
That's how we end the news here on Joy. My name is Ernest.
Tonight on Prime Business, Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC Ghana, projects further decrease in fuel prices if the cedi stabilizes.
It is our hope that the downward trajectory would continue. Unfortunately, the only thing that stands in the way of these reductions is the currency or the cedi.
We have this and more coming up in the next 15 minutes. Please stay. Hello and welcome. Let's settle down for the details now. More oil marketing companies have started reducing fuel prices at the pumps today. The three leading OMCs in the industry, GOIL, Shell and Total Energies, have all gone down by a little over 3% per litre. Is this reduction in line with what had been projected? George Wiafe has the rest of the story.
Market leader GOIL is selling a litre of diesel at 13 cedis 26 pesos from this morning, representing 2% drop from the old price. Petrol, on the other hand, has gone down by 3% and is selling this morning at 10 Ghana cedis 95 pesos. Shell and Total Energies have also gone down by similar values from this morning.
a litre of diesel is going for 13 cedis 30 pesos, while petrol on the other hand is going for 10 Ghana cedis 95 pesos. A careful scan of the market shows that the reduction that we witnessed so far is still below what had been projected. Joy Business is learning that prices should have gone down by as much as 17% per litre. However, due to the recent sharp depreciation of the Ghana cedi, that expected reduction at the pumps has eluded many consumers. Based on the current outlook, prices are expected to go down further in the coming weeks. However, this will be largely dependent on the Ghana cedi being stable against the US dollar.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers COPEC Ghana is projecting a further decrease in fuel prices if the cedi stabilizes.
It's our hope that the downward trajectory would continue. Unfortunately, the only thing that stands in the way of these reductions is the currency or the cedi. You were expecting, from what we got in-house, some 6 to 7 percentage point reduction. Unfortunately, what we've recorded so far is around 2%. The excuse has been that the cedi has depreciated, and truly, yes, it has depreciated over the past few days, leading to this new window. We would beg of Bank of Ghana and the Monetary Policy Committee and whoever is involved in managing the cedi to ensure that there's some stability. Once the cedi stabilizes, projections are that the next couple of weeks or months could bring some further reduction.
Away from that, digital marketing strategist Maximum Amegboto says there's no cause for worry in the decision by Vodafone Ghana to sell its stake to another operator, Telecel. According to him, customers must have confidence due to the track record of the transition from Ghana Telecom to its recent operations. Telecel announced the decision to purchase Vodafone Ghana after it began some negotiations with the firm earlier. Reacting to the development, Maximus Ametogbo says the new company may have to do more to impress subscribers in order to stay in business. He spoke on the marketplace.
What the company will offer in our market that will be different from what the existing giants are providing, and how they are going to also, beat competition, how innovative they will be to be able to capture or maintain the current market size that Vodafone Ghana has, and of course be profitable so they can employ more Ghanaians and also pay taxes to the government.
But what do you think should be the way forward?
The way forward is for them to negotiate, let them come to the table and let everybody make an offer, and if they come to a happy medium, why not? They should strike that deal and then let's get the ecosystem, the telecom sector going.
Any reason Vodafone subscribers should be worried upon hearing about this news?
Yeah, of course, they shouldn't be. They should be worried if they don't know about Telecel. Of course, they shouldn't be worried because maybe government will make sure their interest is taken into consideration, and they shouldn't fear because from Ghana Telecom to Vodafone and the rest, there's migration. If there's no pull factor from the competitor in the market, I'm not sure they should be worried.
Now, if your preference is a stylishly decorated house with enough space and lighting, look out for Elegant Homes at the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. Their 3- and 4-bedroom houses are located in one of the plush neighborhoods. Elegant Homes and other exhibitors who will be at the second mini clinic, which comes off on the 5th to 7th August at the West Hills Mall, will provide vendors with goods and services at discounted prices. Now, this clip will give you more options to make an informed decision.
So we have this first guest room. Oh,
Wow. So Madam actually helped me. She did have some people who sell curtains. So she took me there and, you know, I had to make a decision on what I wanted for each room. So that was very helpful because I don't know of any realtor I haven't heard that will be running around taking you places. This is the kitchen. And I'm blessed that Madam took me, and then I think, Madam, I'm the only one with a black refrigerator, right? We were so lucky. Okay. It matched everything the way, you know, I wanted it. So
indeed, it's a cute kitchen.
I know, very, very, very cute kitchen. So this is a jacuzzi. Man, I was like, when I came, they had fixed all of the other stuff, and I'm like, so they're just little things I like about this bathroom. Wow. You know, with the features and technology and everything, you know. So it's and I think they've done a marvelous job with the things that they've put together for relaxation and everything. Yeah.
So I can just do this and
exactly.
Wonderful.
And of course you have this and then you have that.
Right.
Yeah. This is a part of the service we provide. We have, it's called a tailor-made service where we build specifically to suit individual taste. So when you come in here or you decide to own a home with us and you don't like any of our existing models, we encourage you can bring your design just like Doc did. We will look at the design and then we will talk to you where we have to modify. We will do that, and then we give you a payment plan, and then we build with you in mind. In that case, you get exactly how you want it.
We'll see you at the second mini clinic at the West Hills Mall from the 5th to the 7th of August 2022. And that's how we end Prime Business here on Joy News. We leave you with news making headlines on the international front. My name is Beverly Broom. Have a good evening.
Thanks for joining us on The Sport. I'm Gary Al Smith, and we begin in Birmingham, where Ghana is marking its 17th appearance at the Commonwealth Games. And after everything that's happened in the 5 days since it started, here is a wrap of how Team Ghana has...
Wahid Omar of the light welterweight division
Joseph Kome of the featherweight division and Abraham Mensah of the bantamweight division have all qualified for the quarterfinals of their respective event. Onela Sathud, whose involvement in the boxing has drawn interest because of a PhD in analytical chemistry, was defeated in the women's middleweight boxing bout by Kerry Davies of England. Black Bombers captain Abubakar Kwate lost 2-3 to Adeyinka Benson of Nigeria in the round of 16 middleweight contest after reaching this stage via a bye in the first round. Boxer Shaku Samed was, however, banned from the games for failing a doping test, giving his prospective opponent from the Mauritius a bye to the next stage of the boxing event. In swimming, after failing to qualify in the 50 meters butterfly event, Abeku Jackson qualified for the semi-finals of the 100 meters butterfly event after finishing 5th. He becomes the only second African left in the event. His brother, Cole Jackson, however, failed to progress from the 200 meters and 100 meter freestyle heat, finishing 4th and 7th respectively. Zyra Forson also finished 2nd in her preliminary heat, but her time was not good enough to take her through to the final of the women's 200 meter freestyle. Also, 17-year-old Uniles Techi finished 4th and 1st in the women's 50 meters and 100 meters freestyle, respectively, but failed to progress to the finals of the event because her time was also not good enough. Nubia Ejay could also not progress after finishing 7th in the women's 100 meter backstroke.
So, in the last hour or so, Abeku Jackson did take part in the semi-finals, but he finished 6th and so does not qualify into the final. Moving on, according to the Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the introduction of the Ghana card will provide a solution to age cheating in sport. With the card containing all necessary information about a person, aka the biodata, he says that that data cannot be changed. As a result, if football players and athletes really are asked to participate in national assignments, they will be required to provide their Ghana card in order to prevent systemic fraud. Dr. Bawumia made this known when he was buttressing a point that he would choose the Ghana card as compared to 1,000 interchanges in Ghana at the Ghana Civil Servants Awards.
Fake birth certificates was a big problem, for our country, and it made it very difficult for people to trust our documents at embassies and everywhere, because people would just go and have fake birth certificates. In fact, when we went to the births and deaths registry, we found 3 different databases. 3 different databases. We had to harmonize the databases. But once you have unique identity, you will not have fake birth certificates. There will be no football age versus normal age. That business will come to an end. Recently, you will know that I think our women's team was banned for presenting some overage players. Hopefully, now we are going to strictly require that they bring their Ghana cards before they are going to be registered to play.
Well, the debate continues. And still on football, Global Footballers Welfare Body called FIFPro has appealed the decision of the Ghana Football Association to ban players involved in an alleged fixed match between Ash Gold and its allies played 2 seasons ago. The appeal was filed last week per Joy Sports Checks. My colleague Muftau Abdullahi has this exclusive report. Still on match fixing and sanctions imposed on players and clubs, Inter Allies says the club has been used as a scapegoat by the GFA following their demotion to Division 2 and will consider heading to the Court of Arbitration for Sport to fight their decision. According to the Chief Executive Officer, Delali Senaya, the club was demoted based on assumptions and conjecture.
As a law-abiding club, which is committed in protecting the sanctity of football, we avail ourselves to all channels to help Ghana Football Association unearth the truth with all the details from our internal inquiry set up on 22nd July 2021. But we were rather punished on the basis of conjecture and assumptions. Inter Football Club disagree with the disciplinary committee ruling on the case and also disagree with the reasoning of the appeals committee in affirming the decision of the disciplinary committee as our grounds for appeal was not looked at, let alone considered. The disciplinary and appeals committee just used our club as scapegoat and punished the club severely without establishing how our club benefited in a said scandal as provided by law. Secondly, as a member of the association, we have decided to live by the ruling, though unjust. Lastly, we will also like to inform the families of our players that the career path and the development plans for the awards will continue. The club will explore the option of enrolling some of the players who have been banned in specialized skill schools so as to guard against loss of their time.
That's it for the sport. Remember, we have all the details of the Commonwealth Games in terms of the previews and the reviews on myjoyonline.com and the trending stories. You can get them on our socials, on Twitter, Facebook. It's all at Joy Sports GH. I'm Gary Al Smith. Thank you very much for your time.